If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. Loving you is wrong. I don't wanna do right or be right. I don't wanna be right if it means living here without you. 'Cause I don't wanna be right if loving you is wrong. I don't wanna be right. Y'all heard that before? I can't live without you. What's up? I've heard these songs. You know, people just can't get enough. Never too much, never too much. All of this. No, the topic of domestic violence is really something that kind of hits home for me. As one who grew up in, incidents of domestic violence in my own household as a kid growing up. We have a violent alcoholic there, uncle that beating up his women in the living room and stuff, and then you have an auntie who seems to have picked dudes who beat her ass all the time, and I've had aunts who dated men who raised their hands to them. What's up, Asher? So I'm very familiar up close with domestic violence and what it does to a family, what it does to an individual. And growing up in that stuff all the way up until at least 16, calmed down. But when I was a little kid, I opened up to teenage years. Whew, rough. And so, watching all that stuff. And then you go out into the streets, you see it. Domestic violence lightly. However, I don't also, let me start over. It's your man Rico, the Opinionist, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My Cash App is all over the place. Fool with me if you're cool with me. And what I'm about to talk about is Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is a young 24-year-old player in the NBA. Black dude. And he's married. And it appears that he and his wife have had a history of domestic violence. And what I was saying was one who has grown up in that and who was very sensitive to that. It got to a point when I can't even stand to see a man yell at a woman. It takes me back to that 6, 7-year-old, that 8-year-old, that 10-year-old, that 12-year-old who couldn't do anything about it. Just feel helpless. And I can't stand a batterer. I can't stand a batterer or a thief. And so, and a bully either. I can't stand a bully. Those three things, those three groups of people, they move me a certain way that's not very positive. But also in my field of social work, I also had the opportunity for a few years to teach what's called BIP classes, a batterers intervention prevention program classes that's offered by the state, whatever state you live in. And then you get qualified, I guess, to actually have your own program. I was fortunate enough to teach in some other people's programs, instruct some classes, 15 to 16 weeks of, I think about 2 hours or an hour and a half of class. And I really enjoyed teaching those batterers intervention classes, right? And I think the guys, for me, it's always guys, almost always guys. I never taught a women's batterers intervention. I think that has started coming around in recent years, but I've always had classes or programs for men who batter. They even have curriculums created around men who batter. But my last workshop I was in about 5 years ago or so. 2018, I think it says 2017 to 18, 1921 too. Yeah. I was in a 3-day domestic violence batterers intervention program, to get hours. I think you need about 20, 25 hours or something like that in order to be able to instruct the classes. So I have about probably 18.5 or something. Probably a few more than that, right at 20. So I can still facilitate the classes. I haven't gotten a chance to do it in a while, but I really enjoy doing it, and I would like to get back to doing that. Because what I've learned is that men really need to see men in these classes, men who are fair and balanced. But since the class are almost always men, you know, and when I was teaching those classes, the men would tell me afterwards and during the class, we appreciate you teaching the classes because I did something that other female and other guys would not do. That is give them the opportunity to tell their side. Because once they get that label, hey, you're a batterer, you need to go take these classes, you know, all bets are off. They're not looked at as real people anymore. And as a social worker, I want to hear all sides. And as a counselor, therapist, I want to hear all sides. So I gave them a chance to explain exactly what happened in all the groups. And then as they explained their side, or what they thought was right, I would quickly tell them, hey, stop right there. Let me give y'all an example of one of my classes, right? One brother, he was saying, hey, I was having an argument with my wife. And we were in the bedroom, we were having an argument. And so we just got kind of heated, kind of heavy. And then she turned around and she reached for the doorknob to say, look, I'm not talking anymore. I don't want to talk anymore. She grabbed the doorknob and he grabbed her hand and pushed the door closed and said, no, we're not done talking. I told him to stop right there. That's why you're in the classroom. Because what you just did, sir, was you pretty much hindered her ability or prohibited her ability to leave the situation. That's why you're here. And his face just kind of dropped. He didn't understand. See, it's very sensitive. You know, if they're trying to leave and you kind of impede their path, well, that's why you end up in this class, bro. So I would explain stuff along the way because a lot of these guys do believe that what they're doing, what they're saying is right. And so, what's up, Conrad? And so that's what I did in my class. I gave everybody clarity. I don't believe in just say, hey, read the book or do the homework. I give people clarity because I want you to leave my class smarter, safer, more cognizant, more aware than when you first entered my group. That's how I've always worked. I want to give you an understanding. I want to give you a fish. I literally want to teach you a fish, teach you how to fish, mentally, intellectually, teach you how to fish, and give you a little pole, give you a fishing pole on the way out. Might give you a few worms. That's how I roll. And so, because you don't go in there and just pound into the guy. Yeah, don't mention her because you're here and there's a reason, blah, blah, blah. You know, they do that in these damn classes. I don't like it. So I want to get back to teaching those classes one of these days. It means you have to go through the state and go through all that, but it's okay. It's a good investment. You got so many guys who are thrown in the system for domestic violence and anger. I love teaching anger classes. But anyway, you know, I've been hearing about this Miles Bridges case, right? Yeah, I'm not into sports, y'all. I see stuff that's come around through social media and through the news, and what you do is you hear how how it's interpreted, you know, and of course it making him look like the big bad monster. Shout out to my Grambling t-shirt though. What's up? Grambling State University, you dig? But of course they make him look like the big bad monster because of his gender and his height and all of this. You know, all of us. I don't understand how men become these ferocious monsters, you know, after the fact because they're 6'5" and 220 pounds. I mean, when everything is good, he's not a big, ferocious, brutalizing monster then. So how come all of a sudden, when women want to break up, they want to, and all this kind of stuff, and they get into a little domestic violence or whatever, oh my God, he's 3 times her size. But shit, he was 3 times her size when they was out dancing and hugging and kissing and having sex and everything else. Well, all of a sudden now, when it gets to a situation like this, man, he's a big old brute. He's a big monster. You know, white women love to try to paint everybody a monster after the fact, after they've gotten all their goods out of it. Now you're this ferocious, intimidating monster. And I don't play like that because my brain never shuts off. It doesn't. And And I look at humanity, what it is it's made up of people who are striving to be the best version of themselves, at least supposedly, right? And so, I'm looking at this Miles Bridges. It even goes back to the Chris Brown thing, how they just made a monster out of Chris Brown, as if Rihanna didn't breathe at all during the whole situation. So I think after the Chris Brown situation, I really started paying attention to how black men are just, how they're viewed, and just with so heavy-handedly when it comes to situations like this, while their white counterparts get, they're given the benefit of the doubt. So that's what I do in my groups. I give the men the benefit of the doubt. Like, explain your side, what exactly happened, so I can explain to you where you were wrong and where the other person was wrong. Because somehow we forget that we're in 2022 and women have fought fingernails, eyelashes, weave, and lipstick and makeup, tooth and nail, to be viewed as equal. But it's interesting how when it comes to domestic violence, the men have to be viewed in a traditional way, as the bigger, stronger, rah. But then the women got to be these, these modern, equal, yes, bitch, yes, hunty, and girl power women. All of a sudden you get to be helpless victims. I don't like that. Because if men gonna be viewed as traditional, women should be viewed as traditional. If women gonna be viewed as modern and empowered, the men should be viewed that way. Men, you should look at yourself that way. Stop getting caught up in this what I call this labeling of gender when it's convenient, so someone else can win a particular case. Well, look at you. You're 6'5", and she's just a 5'2", 115-pound little something. But when he was hitting it from the back, he was 6'5", 220 pounds. They didn't seem to bother. When she was riding him, she was 5'2", 115 pounds. They didn't seem to bother. When she said, "Choke me," with those 220-pound hands during sex, that didn't seem to bother. But all of a sudden now, his height, his weight, and his muscles, now they matter. Y'all better pay attention, okay? Don't let me do all the goddamn thinking. So anyway, am I saying that his people is innocent or innocent of some domestic violence stuff? Well, you got to hear both sides. So when it comes down to black men, again, I am an avowed and publicly stated black male advocate. No, not when they're wrong. But first, I want to find out if they're actually wrong. Because, there's a history in this country of labeling black men as criminals and stereotyping black men. So I don't go with what the media tells me about black men all the time. I just don't. Every other black male athlete is this brute. Well, at the same time, Chad Wheeler, the white football player, beat that black girl black and blue until she was lifeless. This son of a bitch actually sat down to dinner thinking that he had killed her and wasn't tripping, eating dinner. Then she just happened to wake up, and he was like, "Oh damn, she's alive." Yeah, he got to retire. And have y'all maybe y'all need to look it up for me. Was he given any prison time? Did he go to court? Did he get anything? And black folks didn't really just get down on him, and also the white media didn't really talk about him. ESPN, Fox Sports 1 and FS1, whatever. None of these white sports shows really talked about him, and talked about him like a dog and call him a coward. He ain't this, he ain't that. He needs to be fired. Nobody said any of that, because I was reading just like y'all were reading. I was paying attention. But all of a sudden, this young brother, I got to watch on Twitter, read on Twitter, all these white men and these stupid black dudes. That coward needs to be fired. What a coward, what a coward. Talking about Miles Bridges. I don't even know who the hell Miles Bridges is. I just looked it up. I said, of course, no wonder they're going so hard. It's a black dude. Even when Ben rapes him a lot. What's his name? Ben rapes him a lot. He's around there just taking coochie from white chicks and other women. They weren't even hard on him. They let him continue to play. But y'all want every black man who's accused of anything to be fired from their $100 million job, while the white boys get to continue not only work, but also retire whenever they get ready and still be brought to the Hall of Fame. No damaged character, no damaged image. And we ain't gonna have to stop that, black folks. Stop joining them and condemning black men so much in the sports. Yeah. You're helping the white racists. Yeah, you are. Now, I'm not saying giving anybody a pass. I'm just saying read the whole damn story. As I looked into this Miles Bridges situation, you know, I said, let me see what's going on, because I'm not with that believe all women bullshit. I'm not with that believe her, hashtag believe. I'm not with that shit, because I grew up in it. I saw both sides. Yeah. And y'all know when I used to teach those classes, I would give the definition of domestic violence and a batterer. Y'all want to hear what the difference is? I know that there's some people who push the narrative that, you know, believe her and these men are violent. I know they're gonna get mad at this, but hey, you can't knock the truth. So hold on a minute. Let me see. Let me let these cars go by first, right? So hold on a second. I got one more. All right. So I would tell them, I said, there's a difference. Before I started my class, I do my introduction, let them know who I am, and let them know my credentials. I said, and they're like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. And then I let them know. I said, there's a difference between domestic violence and a batterer. See, domestic violence usually involves two people. Tino, Lucian, what's good, cuzzo? Domestic violence usually involves two people. Yeah. Y'all seen people fight. You know, he'll push her down and she come back and throw plates at him, and to go in with some of those other stories the guys used to tell me, they'll get into it, probably pushing and shoving, and he'll say, I'm gonna leave. And she will jump on his back and won't let him leave. Pull his shirt off his body and scratch his neck and arms up. You know, that's domestic violence. Or he might smack her, but she come back with that windmill. You got these so fucked up, you know. And they fight and breaking dishes and knocking over lamps. That's domestic violence, because both of them are throwing hands and throwing dishes and throwing elbows and coming off the top rope on each other. Now, you know what battering is? Or the batterer? See, here's the batterer. The batterer, these days, is the man and the woman, but we're gonna for the sake of, I guess, to keep it politically correct, because some people don't believe that women batter. All the evidence is out there in the statistics. I'm going to get to that in a minute. The batterer is a guy who's powerless at work, powerless in society. It's a powerless, sorry, low self-esteem having son of a bitch. His only toughness is when he goes home. And he's able to be a batterer around people who love him. And who may be afraid. And so he comes home, and the wife said, hey, sweetie, what's going on? They're like, dinner cook, it's almost ready. Smack to the face. Bitch, why it ain't ready already? You know I come home at 4:30 on the dot. But I know it's just cool. It's just warming in the oven. You supposed to have the dinner table already set when I walk in this motherfucker. Pow, pow, boo, doo, 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 doo. Then he kicks the dog, and smacks the kid. Daddy, don't do it like that. You know, he just feels so tough. That's the batterer. Got it? Or the lady might come home. The batterer lady might come to the house. She said, hey, what's going on? You know, I'm doing all right. And I smell perfume. So it's okay. Some ladies at work, we're all saying goodbye and stuff. One lady hugged me, and then she get to slap him in the face. Who is the bitch? Bow. Who is the bitch? Bow. Start punching on me. He like, go on, girl. So that's battering. Domestic violence, two folks mad at each other and going at it. That's why a lot of times they get back together, because they both were showing out. So they're trying to paint Miles Bridges as a batterer, when it's a clear sign of domestic violence. Because if y'all continue to follow the story, they've been getting into it sound like for a minute. And then she want to put her little pictures up there. Now, if somebody was truly beating your ass and a dude that big, she gonna show her little bruises. If he was, y'all come on now. Now, if this big old dude was truly beating her ass, then I think he said something. I think he broke something. Something was broken once, but she'd really be broken into pieces. But then she go right back home. But so still, I don't think he should be fired, because a lot of people want him buried. I don't think so. No, because see, this hadn't gone to trial. It's just public opinion, because she's putting stuff out there according to reports. She's putting stuff out there. And also it's reported that she put some kind of ass out picture on social media. She took it back down, and that probably caused them to be upset with each other. Him upset with her. You know, I don't know what's up with these wives. You got husband, but you still want to be Aisha Curry and Sierra, shake your ass and bend over and get attention from other men and do it's just something that's genetically thottish. Even women get married, they still have to be hoes that have to be seen. Something up with that. But we're not going to address that, right? And so a man's supposed to sit there and just let his wife be a hoe and a thot in a marriage. Now, y'all calm down. But that still don't give him no reason to put his hands on her. Well, if she want to be a little thot and a whore, why don't she just ask for a divorce? But no, because the women like the resources that men bring. So they understand what they're doing. And some of them just brace themselves. I know I'm going to do it, but I know he's fool, but I still got to do me. And they brace themselves for whatever the impact's going to be. But of course, she's the victim. He's 6'5", 200, whatever, and she's just 5'4", 125-pound little woman. Yeah, it's interesting how it all becomes a problem when this situation comes up. You would think women who are afraid of this domestic violence, they wouldn't date these dudes just twice their sizes, huh? So public, y'all been finding out you with the shit. You would think if women are so afraid of big old men, these dudes, he's bigger than me, he's stronger than 10 men, and I'm afraid. But that means you only date a guy that's like 5'5", 140 pounds. Somehow you can kind of tangle with, right? You wouldn't be so afraid. But first thing women go for is all the big old muscular 6'5", 225 pound dudes. And even if he's 5'10", he need to weigh 220 and lift 300 pounds with one arm. So y'all see how that makes sense. So I'm not going to have a final judgment on this whole Miles Bridges situation, domestic violence situation, until all of the information is brought out. And I want to suggest you do the same. Stop allowing these people to just demonize and publicly find black athletes guilty. You know, and all these old brilliant ass, these 100% ass men out there. Well, you know, these guys, some emotional ass dudes. You know, they all in their emotions, letting the women get the best of them. Let me tell y'all smart ass something. You tough ass, extra masculine motherfuckers. Let me tell y'all something. Again, I'm a social worker. I deal in human behavior. I just find it amazing that men to be a man, you're not allowed to breathe hard. You're not allowed to, if you get shot, you better suck it up. Because somebody said, man, that bitch, and he got shot with a 12 gauge. That motherfucker like he's going to die. He was going to die. Most likely he is going to die. Wow. He let a woman get to him. That's interesting. How y'all say, man, he let a woman get to him. So that means you are a sexist, misogynist jackass who think women are stupid and they don't have good sense. Whenever you make statements like that, that just shows your misogyny and your sexism for those who use those words. You don't think women ain't shit. Well, you let a woman get to you? When you're a human being, any and everybody's feelings can be hurt or when people can get to them. I understand you have to have some discipline, but when you're emotionally entangled with anybody, men and women in a relationship, well, you get to each other. It's called being entangled emotionally. It's called being in love or being in a codependent situation. So yes, she gets to him. Yes, he gets to her. So why is it that the women are allowed to feel? They're allowed to be all 100% of human being, but men have to shut down their emotions, and while she gets to be, as Project Pat said, wild as a child. Y'all gonna learn. Keep on listening to me. I'm gonna teach y'all how to do this shit, because too many of y'all dying for nothing. But it's anything, but also oh my God, what boggles the mind. Man, you let her get to you like that? But it's funny, when a man is calling you all kinds of bitches and punk ass dudes and all that, furniture's moving in less than 5 minutes. And I'll say, whoa, bro, you let him get to you like that? You see how that works? Unless you truly believe women ain't nothing but a bunch of 4-year-old pesty, aggregate, agitating little wenches. That's what you're saying. Don't try to make us superhuman beings because she finally got her ass whooped. And then there are a lot of guys, it goes into a whole lot of stuff. When you want to call the guys emotional, well, look who raised them. So, well, we're going to try to participate in bringing down the fatherlessness in a lot of these households. A lot of these athletes are boys raised from the ghetto, single mother, single auntie, grandma households. They don't know how to put up with all that. All they're used to is yelling and screaming and cussing and illogical behavior and illogical responses. So who you talking about? When you talking about these guys emotionally, you must be talking about their mothers, because that's who fucking raised them. That's who raised them. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to get it together one day. You know, and stop trying to make men not human when it's convenient or when it fits a narrative that some woman who couldn't win when it's convenient for her. Because ladies, if y'all are so afraid of domestic violence, it's like y'all would behave a little better. And first sign of him acting a fool, it's like you would leave. But not when he's a millionaire. You see, y'all so busy trying to secure the bag that you don't even keep your life secure. You'll stay with what a man you think who has the potential to be violent, you'll stay with him because you think he has money or some kind of status. When are we going to address that publicly? Because I'm kind of over these, going on Twitter and all these damn TV shows. They talk about, well, these men when men batter, when men hurt women, and women are becoming the endangered species. I heard this crap, because there was another situation that just happened in what's it, New York or Philly, where this black chick got murdered. Like he was shot in the face, point blank range. She was pregnant. I think she already had 2 kids. They're saying that the father of her kid, I think the father of one of her kids is the one who allegedly did it. And so, all up in arms. He's a monster. He's this. And really, I think he hasn't been caught or anything. I think he's just been accused. But of course, public opinion have y'all out there already convicting the folks. And if he did do that, may they throw the book at his ass. But we still have to pose tough questions. I think a lady on that post posed a question like, well, damn. If there was a restraining order in place, why did she meet up with the guy? See, we have to get into the decision making of women. I don't believe that, just, oh my God, he's terrible, he's this and that. No. Because ladies, y'all got to make better choices, honey. Y'all can't continue to play victim or throw yourselves in a position where you can be victims. And then the men got to take the brunt while you get to run off with the bag. You get, and I got some folks on Twitter upset with me because, I said, in case he is this Miles Bridges cat, in case he is found guilty or whatever, no, he should not lose his job. He probably should be given just 2 years of probation with the promise or in the contract that if there's any felony involved or whatever, that should come off immediately after he successfully completes either the 2 years or the 15 weeks of domestic violence class. And also, his wife should already file for divorce, if that's the whole case. Should already been filed for divorce, and those two can come together on an agreement if they have children. Damn right. He shouldn't have to lose his life and his livelihood because of their domestic violence situation. But other men don't lose like that. So why y'all want black men always to be sent to the poorhouse? It's just dumb. Doesn't make any damn sense. And I don't buy that. I don't go along with that. I don't approve of that message. So Miles Bridges, if you are, sanctioned to probation, you have to do a domestic violence class. You have to take anger. Look me up, bro. I'm here in Dallas-Fort Worth area. You'll see this on my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. If y'all know Miles Bridges, Having to get at me, I do some one-on-ones with him through Zoom. And I'll mail him his certificate. If he needs, 12 weeks of anger? If he needs some domestic violence stuff, I'll try to see if I can work that out with the brother. Give him his certificate. My classes, they're not expensive, brother. You know, we just see what's going on. If he needs therapy, get at me, Miles. There's a lot of brothers out there that need some anger counseling. Have y'all seen my flyer? Yeah. You boys on this year. Anger, substance abuse. Want to talk about depression? Get at me. The place I work at accepts insurance. Now, if you just come through me, I don't take insurance. My sessions start at $70 an hour, and that's cheap. So, anyway, I think that's all I had to say about that. I just want to share that. Y'all stop being so hard on these black professional players, NBA, NFL, or what have you, and y'all don't be the same tough on the white ones. They get to go on off into the sunset with their clean record and get on into the Hall of Fame, whatever their respective sport is. They get to move on with their clean records. But we jump on for they're right. You need to do this, breaking the law. Just shut up. Just let the courts play it out and not the court of opinion, public opinion. We're not doing that. That stuff is serious. And learn what the difference is between battering and domestic violence. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. Y'all be cool. Rico the Opinionist. I'm out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And I have a Facebook group, Rico the Opinionist. I'll talk to y'all in the future. Be cool. Kevin, you can call me, man. I'll catch you up on what's happening. Be cool. Talk to y'all later. Peace.